Hello, mighty companions. This is Earl Purdy, and I want to welcome you to A Course in Miracles here on Facebook Live. A Course in Miracles, A Course in Miracles, A Course in Miracles, A Course in Miracles. Do you need a miracle?
Yes.
Would you like a miracle in some area of your life? I know I would. So we're in the right place together at the right time. Those of you online, I want to totally and completely welcome you. And we're going to get deep into the course. We're going to go for it. I'm here to deliver a message. I'm a messenger. The Course in Miracles says a minister is a messenger. I like that definition of ministry, is that you're just a messenger. So I'm delivering a messenger. And what's one of the main things you heard on TV? Don't kill the messenger. Okay? Don't y'all kill the messenger. I didn't write the book, so therefore there's no need for me to defend it. And so that's not what we're doing. What we want to do is hear what we're being told and then apply it to the situation that we're in so that we can get the happiness and the peace that the Course in Miracles is promising us, right?
Yes.
I want to hear what it's saying. I want to apply it to what I think I'm going through so that I can get the healing that I want to have. I want to hear what it's saying, apply what it's saying, so I can get the result that is promising, which is happiness and peace. That's the goal. So the Course says the first thing you should do in any situation that you have any kind of doubt in is ask yourself, what is it for and what do I want to come out of it? Yeah, so if there's any area of your life right now where you're dealing with a situation and you're wondering what to do, first thing you want to ask yourself is, what is this for? And what do I want to get out of this? What is it that I want to come of this? I'm just taking a minute to apply that to a part of my life right now. Okay. All right. So remember only this. This is the only thing you need to remember. You don't have to believe the ideas. You don't have to accept the ideas. You don't have to welcome the ideas. You don't have to believe the ideas. You don't have to accept the ideas. You don't have to welcome the ideas. Some of the ideas you might resist. 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 Some of the ideas you might find hard to believe. Some of the ideas you might find hard to believe in the Course in Miracles. Some of the ideas might be hard to believe. You might hear some stuff that's hard to believe. Some of the things that you say, do you know some of the things that the Course says might what? Startle you. Some of the stuff might startle you. What is it that you're not asked to do? Judge and analyze the ideas. It's the use of the ideas that will give the ideas meaning. It's using it, we'll give it meaning. We're using it, we'll give it meaning. Using it, using it, using it, using it. We'll give the Course in Miracles what it's teaching. That's what will give it the meaning. Not analyzing it. Don't analyze the Course in Miracles. Stop analyzing the Course in Miracles. Analyzing the Course in Miracles according to the Course in Miracles destroys the meaning of it. It doesn't help you understand it better by analyzing it, especially if you're analyzing it based on what you've learned in other teachings. So I'm going to ask you for a while to stop while you're listening to the Course. Let yourself hear it without trying to fit it into other teachings that you have been studying. Try not to fit the Course in Miracles into some other teaching that you've been studying. What did I say?
Try not to fit it into other teachings I've been studying.
Thank you. Thank you. Do you have that tendency sometimes to think about another book you read and what it said, or some other teacher you've listened to for just an hour? Let's try not to do that. For an hour, try not to do that. Try not to do what? Try to fit the Course in Miracles into your understanding based on what you've learned in the past. Just kind of go like, I just want to hear this. I don't have to believe it. I want to hear it. Okay? Then it says, so why do I want to use the ideas? Well, he says, well, the reason why you want to use the ideas is because it's the use of the ideas that will show you that the ideas are true. It's the use of the ideas that will show you that the ideas are true. It's the use of the ideas that will show you that the ideas are true. not trying to figure out the ideas of the Course in Miracles. It's the use of the ideas that will show you that the ideas are true, right? So also remember, right upstairs, for those of you who don't know it, if you have young children and they don't want to be bored to death, there's a room right up at the top of the stairs that got toys and books and stuff in it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And can we hear you up there?
I don't know. That's a good question. Nobody's ever asked me that before.
Well, we want to hear you.
Okay, I want you to, but I just want you to know sometimes, young ones can get restless, and so I'm just talking to them. They were up there by themselves, they'd be okay. Okay, so we're going to be on lesson 71 in the Course in Miracles workbook. We're going to be on lesson 70 what? 71, and it's going to be on page 121, page 71, page 121, on page what? 121. And it's going to be lesson 71. And what is lesson 71?
Only God's plan for salvation will work.
Only God's plan for salvation will work, which is the same as saying only love's plan for your happiness will work. Only the truth plan for your happiness will work. That's the plan that will work. So isn't it good news to know that there is a plan for our happiness that will work?
Yes.
That is for me. Right. I'm glad to know that there's a plan for my happiness that will work. I'm glad to know there's a plan for my peace, my abundance, my freedom, my oneness, my joy. There's a plan for it that will work. Got it? Okay. Let me do something right quick. Set the timer for 5 minutes. Okay. We'll do a quick review.
5 minutes, counting down.
Okay, thank you. Okay. That's one woman that'll do what I say. Sometimes even Siri acts up. Anybody that got Siri knows that sometimes Siri act up too.
I can't help you with that.
That's right. Sometimes you go, are you crazy? Okay, so here's the plan that won't work. This is the review. The plan for your happiness that won't work is when you say if somebody else spoke or acted differently, you'd be happy. What is the plan that won't work?
When somebody else acts differently, I'll be happy.
When something outside of me changes, I'll be happy. When this situation or circumstance changes, I'll be happy. When I have more money, I'll be happy. When I have another mate, I'll be happy. If I move out of Denver, I'll be happy. If I have a house, anything that we're saying that if this were different, then I would be peaceful. If this were different, I would feel great. The Course in Miracles says flat out what?
Won't work.
It's not going to work. Do you know you'll stop doing something faster because it doesn't work? Then you stop doing something because you feel guilty about it? How many times have you felt guilty about doing something and turned around and did the same thing again? Everybody had that experience. So guilt doesn't make anybody do nothing different. You try to make your friend and your partner feel guilty and then they do what you want them to do. I guarantee you it ain't going to work. It's not going to work. They'll probably do it again. Guilt doesn't make anybody stop doing anything. Only thing that guilt does is probably guarantee they're going to do it again. That's what guilt does. Because they did it in the first place, according to the Course, they did it in the first place to feel guilty. That the part of us that wants to be separate can only pull it off when it's feeling guilt and fear and anger. If I feel guilty, if I feel angry with you, I feel separate from you. So fear makes us separate. Guilt makes us separate. You make somebody feel guilt all the time, will they want to be around you a lot, usually? Now, if the first thing that you think you're going to go through is guilt, you're going to probably not choose to spend time with that person. That explains why many parents do not get visited. Right? A lot of times, you don't know how many people I talk to who dread the idea of spending time with their parents. And it's usually because of something they tell me their parents are going to say to them that they really don't want to hear, and that makes them feel guilty or separate and afraid.
Mine won't leave.
you know. Well, that's part of you trying to punish yourself. So that's why you study it. So you get to the level of consciousness that they'll be running. You won't have to worry about it. Okay. It's funny. The more peaceful you become, the more a person that's not ready to experience peace doesn't want to be around you. So it kind of takes care of itself. So anyway, you got the plan that doesn't work. It's what? Okay, so we left off on paragraph 5 on page 121, lesson 71 in the workbook. I'm especially here for anybody that's shown up, and I'm also especially here for people who see themselves as students of the Course in Miracles and that they really want to learn the Course in Miracles. That's why I put my emphasis on helping people who want to learn it by working out of the book. Okay, that's why I do that, so that I can help those who are wanting to learn it save some time, because it's been 45 years almost that I've been sharing this. And I'm watching it work in my life more and more and more every day. And I'm so thankful for that, you know. So let's go back. What does it say? Okay, paragraph 5. I'm going to tell you why God's plan works. Why you can use whatever word for God you want to use. Higher power, source energy, you know, higher self, spiritual self, spirit, whatever, love, truth, whatever word works for you. It says the reason why the Spirit's plan works is this is what you do. You follow the Spirit's direction, which is another way of saying you do what I say. You do what I say. You do what I say. You do what Spirit says. You do what the truth says. You do what the truth says. The next part of having it work is you look for it, for what you want, where it's actually located. So you follow my direction for getting it, and then you look at it where it's located. This same person comes in here and said, I left my purse, and I don't remember where I left it. And it was up in the library. And I said to you, go up those stairs and go to the right, and there's going to be a middle room. That's where you're going to find your purse. Now, would they find their purse if they decided to look for it in the kitchen? Would they find their purse in the kitchen even if they were devoted? No. Would they find their purse in the kitchen if they were angry because they didn't see it? No. It doesn't matter how you react to something if you're looking for it where it's not located. So what does that person have to do? They'd have to follow my direction, which says go upstairs to the second floor, and then it says that then they would be seeking for it where it is. So if they're looking for the purse, where the purse is, I know y'all can answer this one. Would they find it?
Yes, they would.
Okay, so conversely, if there's something missing in your life and you're looking in the kitchen for the purse upstairs, wouldn't it mean you didn't find what you were looking for? Okay, so a person that's looking for abundance and it looks like they're not experiencing it, would it be possible then that they just might be looking for their wealth and abundance where it's not located? If a person looks like they're trying to love someone and have love in a relationship and it seems like it's not there, no matter what you do, you don't seem like you're experiencing the love and the happiness you want, then would there be a possibility that they are looking for their happiness and their love where it's not located?
Yes.
Okay. Any area of your life that you think you're experiencing lack or unhappiness in any way, you're looking for it, your happiness, and it's not where you're looking. So everywhere you're looking, that you're not finding what you're looking for, it's not that it's not available to you. It's not that abundance and wealth is not available to you. It's not that a loving relationship is not available to you. It's not that anything that you're looking for is not available to you. The Course in Miracles is saying, gang, you're looking for it where it isn't located. And that's outside yourself. Do you have any areas of your life right now that you know you're looking for your happiness where it's not located?
Yes.
But isn't that great to know you'll never find it there? Isn't it great to know that the place you keep looking where it's not located is a place you'll never find it? So what's going to happen when you realize you won't find something where you thought it was located? Don't you stop looking there? How many of you have experienced that in relationships? Where you have a relationship with someone or you have a job situation. Sometimes when I get to talk to people, you were talking to me, weren't you? And I go, no, we all have the same issues. So many people come to me and go, well, you were talking to me today, right? Then I heard somebody go, you were, hey, how did you know? Because of the course it's saying that the biggest lie we tell ourselves is that we're different. That's the biggest lie we say to ourselves, is that we're really different. The truth is there are two kinds of people. People are looking for their joy and happiness where it's located and they find it, and those who are looking for it where it isn't and they're not finding it. They're just people who feel love and connection and unity and joining, and then there are people who feel separate and alienated and not connected to anybody and lonely. The Course breaks it down even more. There are some people that's sane, and there are some people that's crazy as hell. You got it? So whoever you're with, friendship, working together, anything you think of, then if they're looking for you to be perfect and they're looking for you to behave a certain way and for you to act a certain way, for them to be happy, then you are going to find yourself having conflict with that person because they're going to always try to change you and get you to do something differently so they can feel better. So they're looking for their happiness where it's not located. Don't you do the same thing? How do I know where I'm doing that at? It's whatever area in my life that I'm constantly finding myself unhappy in. That means I'm over and over again looking for my joy and peace where it's not located, which means I'm acting out a plan that I'm making up for my happiness without checking in with God, a spirit of truth. So the thing that you're trying to do that's not working, the Course is saying, it's the thing you're trying to do without God. It's the thing you're trying to do by yourself. I don't care if you're telling yourself you're giving it to God every single morning. You get up and go, but I did give it to God. Well, you'd find what you were looking for. You would get your happiness. It would be happening. That little Bible says, either you're insane or God is insane. Which one do you think? That's right. The book just straight out says, this is a crazy world. So either we're crazy in the way that we're doing things, or whatever created us is crazy. And so the Course says, now which one do you really think it is? Well, I really think it's us. I just straight up said, I think we're loony beings at the level of our human separate selves. And I don't have any fear to say it because it's the truth. It's the truth. It's the truth. Is that we don't love each other the way we should. We don't love each other the way we should. We don't treat each other the way we should. We don't care about each other the way we should. So the Course says that's an insane being. That's how you can tell when you're around somebody that's crazy. They don't love. They don't give love. They don't share peace. They don't share freedom. I said, okay. I didn't say they were bad. I didn't say they were sinful. I just said they were insane. And even if somebody just got out of a mental institution and they're running around and they pinch you on your butt, and then somebody says to you, well, they just got out of the insane asylum or the mental hospital. I don't know, everybody now, you got to set stuff just perfect. Everybody always on your case, but I'm just going to talk. Okay. So you would probably go, oh, that was a crazy person, and you'd overlook it. It's amazing how much compassion you have when you think the person has mental issues. You'll give them a little bit more of a pass, do we not? Don't we? Usually. Well, that's why we should give everybody in this world a pass. That's why we should be forgiving toward everybody in this world. Because the Course says because they're insane. They've forgotten that they are loved. They've forgotten that they're connected to source energy. They've forgotten that they're connected to God and to everybody else. And when you do like that, it says you can tell because you'll go through a lot of fear and anger and guilt and depression and separation. Right? So then the Course is saying, well, if you want to have what you want, you need to follow my directions and then you'll find where it's located. But if you are to succeed, as God promises you're going to succeed and conceive, how can you tell when you know you're going to succeed? Well, I know I'm going to succeed if I follow what's directing me to where my happiness is really located, which is my Creator. And it says your Creator promises that you're going to succeed. You will succeed in being happy. You will succeed in having love. You will succeed in your joy. You will succeed in having loving relationships. You will succeed. You will succeed. I promise you, you're going to succeed. I promise you, you're going to be successful, is what the Course is saying. The Creator is saying to us, whether we believe it or not, whether you believe it or not, everything's going to be okay. As insane and chaotic as it looks like the things that are happening in the world are right now, everything's going to be okay. Everything's going to be okay. I promise you, you can succeed in having the peace and joy and safety that you're looking for, regardless of what's going on in the world, regardless of what's going on with anybody else, regardless of what's going on with anybody else. You can experience personal happiness and personal healing and personal joy. And the cool part about that is that once you really let yourself have that joy and happiness that you deserve, it's going to extend out to everyone else. So your being happy and your experiencing love and your experiencing safety, it's very much important for everybody else's enjoyment and safety. So when you are letting yourself have what you want, it's benefiting all of us. Every time you're giving yourself the thing that gives you peace, it benefits all of us, because that's one more peaceful person in the world. And a peaceful person ain't raising hell. It's the unhappy people that are doing all the things that frighten us. Happy people don't mug. Happy people don't steal. Happy people don't attack other people. People who are satisfied and feel fulfilled and joyful ain't giving nobody a hard time. It's the miserable ones that are tempted to attack and defend because they're afraid and they feel like they're losing in some kind of way. My favorite line in the Bible that Jesus is said to have said is, "Forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do." Forgive them because they don't know what they're doing. Are you with me?
Yeah.
Are you still with me?
Yeah.
All right, we got a soft carpeted floor. If you want to pass out, just know you're safe. It's okay. Then it said, so if you're going to succeed as God promises you will, you must be willing to seek where your happiness is only. I promise you you're going to succeed, but you got to follow my directions and look for it where I'm telling you it is. Otherwise, if you won't follow Spirit's direction, you want to make the Course practical? I have part of the Course being my spiritual path is I decided that the way God or a higher power is going to communicate to me and give me guidance is through my spiritual path. My spiritual path is A Course in Miracles. Okay, so my spiritual path that I've chosen, then that means I'm going into agreement that what it's teaching me is what I'm going to live by and try to use and learn. Does everybody with me on that? That's why you have a spiritual path, so that you can listen to some wisdom greater than your own. In most cases, you're hearing laws that are greater than what we think of. So therefore, when I say that I want to find the happiness that God promises me that I'll have, then I have to go, okay, then how does Spirit speaking to me through A Course in Miracles say that I'm going to have happiness? Well, it says, number one, I need to listen to my Creator, and I need to follow the directions, and I need to look for where it's located. And it's not located in me trying to get anybody in my life to be any different than how they want to be in the moment. So I promise you, if you're in any kind of relationship or connection with me, I don't want you to change one bit. You don't have to change 1 inch for me, because my happiness doesn't depend on you. Is that fair enough? If I thought my happiness depended on you, then I'd be mad at you all the time and I would need you to change. But I am no longer living that way, and that's not the way I deal with people. And when I do, I ask for correction as fast as I can possibly get it. So that makes me easy to get along with.
like that.
You see what I'm saying? Because it's stupid. I can't change you all. I can't make y'all do what I want you to do. I don't like to waste my time and my energy. You know what I'm saying? There's a part of me that likes to dominate and be in control. Well, I just dominate myself. I'll just be in control of me.
Amen.
I'll just do what I tell me to do. Because I got control over that joke sometimes. Sometimes. So the Course says, read me slow. He says, all you need is one idea in here that you use consistently, and it will lead you to a total healing. Just one. If you just took one thing you heard me say today, and you applied it to everything that happened to you the rest of the day, I guarantee you have a different experience of today. So Spirit is saying to me that if you don't listen to me, then your purpose is divided. And how do you know when your purpose is divided? He says, well, you'll be attempting to follow two plans. But what's the two plans? I'm the one that's responsible for what I'm feeling, or I hold you responsible for what I'm feeling, and you need to change and I'll be happy. He says that's the two plans. Either you're going to listen to your ego plan, or you're going to listen to Spirit's plan. Your ego's plan is, if they spoke or acted differently, then I'd be happy. Spirit's plan is God's plan. So we're going to find out what it is. Because we talked about the other part, now we're going to talk about now what is God's plan, what's Spirit's plan. And I like to say what is love's plan. Because the Course says God is love, and that every time you see any religious terminology that somehow triggers you, just use the word love or truth. And or instead of the ego, you can say that the fearful part of my mind, my fearful thoughts, the part of me that thinks I'm separate and different from you. See, just simplify it. So the Course then says, so what happens when your purpose is divided? He said, well, when your purpose is divided, you're going to seek for two plans. So that means you're going to attempt to follow two plans for happiness, which is salvation, that are totally diametrically opposed and opposite in every way. What would it be like being in a relationship? And I use relationships because the Course says it's the way you get to God. It's teaching the way to get to happiness in God through relationships. So you always hear me talk, and I'm not talking about just romantic, special love relationships. We talk about your relationship to money, your relationship to your job, your relationship to your body. I'm talking about relationships. Everybody with me? Because sometimes people say to me, well, what you said about relationships don't apply to me because I'm not in a relationship with anybody. Isn't that hilarious? I'm not in a relationship with anybody or anything. You're not in a relationship. You're in a relationship with your car. That's a really special relationship, can be them cars. I don't know about you. So my point is, if you are trying to follow two plans that are diametrically opposed in all ways, what's going to be the result? He says, well, it's going to bring confusion when you're trying to follow two ways of doing things. I'm taking responsibility and I'm a victim. I'm the creator and I'm the victim. I'm the creator and I'm the victim. That's the two opposite plans. I create my experience, and everything that's happening to me, somebody else is doing it to me. Those are opposite. So he says anybody trying to follow those two plans, they're going to experience confusion, misery, and a deep sense of failure and despair. I mean, okay, so when I read the Course, I like to work back. Okay, so wherever I'm experiencing despair, a sense of failure, and misery and confusion, is what am I doing? I'm trying to follow two plans. See, my ego is going to say, well, figure out what you're going to say to your boss tomorrow so that y'all can process through this. And what Spirit would say would be for you to tell yourself, okay, I'm listening to two plans right now. I'm not following God's plan right now. That's why I'm feeling upset about what's going on my job. I'm not following the truth plan right now. I'm following my plan, which means I'm upset because I'm using my mind to try to think of how the other person needs to be different in order for me to be happy. So I'm really using my mind to come up with ways to get them to change. And so that's really why I'm miserable in the situation or circumstance that I'm in. Do you know how much money you could save on a divorce if you knew all you had to do was change your mind?
I changed my mind. That's why it works.
Right, sometimes you change your mind to make you get out the door faster.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because bottom line, you chose what was best for you,
Yeah.
right?
I'm loving myself.
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. In the end, she changed what could be changed by her, which was her. You go, okay, I'm out of here. Yeah. The scariest thing I say to people when I'm counseling them sometimes is, talk to the person you're in a relationship with and ask them what they want to come out the relationship, what they're in a relationship with you for. And then you can watch, I've seen it happen a lot, especially with females. They're terrified to ask the guy that they dating, what does he want, what he's in the relationship, whoever it is. You know what I'm saying nowadays, whatever kind of relationship you're in, but you know what I'm talking about. Okay. All right. But the point that I'm making is that if you're in a relationship with somebody that you can't even ask what is the purpose that y'all are together, then what are you doing in it? Because now you don't know how anything is going to turn out in the relationship because you don't have no goal for what should be happening in the relationship, right? If you decide to come over here today and that was your goal, then you knew what to do, which was not to go somewhere else. But if you didn't have any goals, right now, there's no telling where you would be. You just show up wherever you showed up. So those people who always have things happen to them, just seem to just happen to them, the Course says that's just a person who has no goal. They have no idea of what should happen. They're just kind of letting everything just happen. He says, and he says, then you look back on it, and then you try to judge whether or not you should be getting upset about it, right? I didn't expect you to do this, and so now I need to, because I know what should happen between us. So now I don't like what happened, so let me decide whether this calls for me going off on you and getting angry, or do I need to do something else? So the Course said we're always looking back on stuff that we've already done that has happened to us because we didn't have any goal in the first place, and then trying to decide how we're going to deal with it. That makes total sense to me. I see it all the time. People just reacting to what's already happened that they didn't have any idea what should happen. So the Course is saying you either follow the plan of responsibility, Earl, or you follow the plan of being a victim. And if you follow the plan of being a victim, you can tell, because wherever that area is that you're not accepting your created power, it says that you feel confusion, misery, and a sense of failure and despair. So if I want to use the Course in a practical way, then I'm going to look at where I feel that and just remember I must be not using God's plan. Okay, then what's the next line? What's the question? Who can say it out loud?
How can you escape all this?
How can I escape all this? How can you, in other words, how can you escape? I love that question. How can you escape? I know you're in that financial situation that you wish you weren't in. How can you escape? I know you're driving that car you wish you weren't driving. How can you escape? I know you think you're a body and you want to know you're a spiritual being and not some type of a being that is a victim. How can you escape? Because you can apply the truth to everything. That's why you hear me always apply the truth to things we think are very mundane, as well as applying the truth to stuff that seems like this is really high spiritual stuff. Because if it's the truth, you can apply it to anything. That's how you know it's the truth. If you can't apply it to it, it's not the truth. The truth is something you can apply to anything. So how do you escape this? Who can scream the next two words out?
Very simply.
Very simply. How can you escape this? Very simply. Very easily. You can escape from the situation that you're in, that you feel miserable and confused in, very easily. You can escape from this situation that's causing you pain and conflict and confusion. How? Very easily. What's the answer? What's the answer? The idea for today. What is the idea for today?
Only God's plan for salvation will work.
Only God's plan for salvation will work. Only the plan of love will work. Only the plan of love and truth is going to bring you the happiness that you want. So that's the answer.
Good talk.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Why is it that you don't jump up and down when you hear that only God's plan will work? I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. Okay? I just gave you the first half of the answer. What's God's plan? That you get that every time you say, if this were different, I would be happy. And you realize that will not work. That's one part of God's plan. All I've been doing since I started talking was telling you the plan. And the plan is for me to have the desire even if I can't do it perfectly yet, to have the desire to not make your happiness dependent, my happiness dependent on you changing. That's my goal. That's my goal. That's my goal. Now, here's something that you want to bronze, those of you who are studying, and you want to put it in your notebook or somewhere in the course book, is this. Ready? Readiness is not mastery. Who can tell me what that means? Yeah.
Because I have the willingness to follow God's plan doesn't mean I'm going to follow it perfectly.
That's right. Readiness is not mastery. Just because I'm ready to learn how to play a violin doesn't mean I've mastered playing violin. Because you see what I'm saying? Every time you say you're ready to do something, it doesn't mean you can do it. So if I say I'm ready to forgive my mama, it don't mean right off the bat I can forgive my mama. It means I am ready. There's the potential, like I know what the course says, there's a potential for accomplishment. Isn't that a great way to put it? When you say you're ready, you're just saying I want you to be aware there's some potential that this might happen. You know, okay, like somebody want to kiss you. You know, maybe there's some potential this might happen. Provided you follow God's plan. I'll say it again, because I'm a divine repetition teacher. Okay? Here you go. Wherever you're feeling confusion, wherever you're feeling miserable, wherever you're feeling a deep sense of failure, it's where you are using your plan instead of the Creator's plan. Your plan is that you're trying to think of what other than you needs to change in order for you to be happy. Your Creator's plan, part of it is for you to recognize that won't work. That's deep. Okay, then it says only God's plan for salvation will work. And there can be no real conflict about this. Why? Because there's no possible alternative to the plan that works other than that's the plan that works. So it's nothing else to choose when you really see it correctly. But once I get that the purse is up in the library, then I no longer have a choice. There's nothing for me to choose between. Now I'm not going, I think I'm going to look in the kitchen and I'm going to look upstairs. No, I'm going to only look upstairs because that's where the purse is, because I followed the instructions that I got about where what I wanted is located. So I'm no longer even thinking about the kitchen. So now I'm not in conflict. Why am I not in conflict? Because I'm not trying to choose between two different things, which is what conflict is. Conflict is always because you're trying to choose between two different things. That's why you're in conflict. Should I go? Should I stay? Thank you for sharing. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Is this the right way or is this the wrong way? Should I buy this pair of pants or this other pair? Conflict always comes from thinking you got two things to choose between and you haven't made up your mind. And you haven't made any kind of choice or decision. So if you're letting your higher self guide you to what you want and you follow the direction, then you will get whatever you want that can be used as a way for you to experience happiness and joy. Because that's your job. Your job is to be happy here so you can show people that it's possible to experience love and joy right now. That's why you're here. So every time you let yourself enjoy yourself, you're fulfilling your function. Whenever you let yourself enjoy yourself, and you're doing it in a way that's not hurtful or harmful to others, then you're following your divine plan.
Nice.
So if whenever you're happy, you can go, oh, I must be fulfilling my function because I feel the thing that you feel when you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. I'm feeling really good. I'm feeling really happy. And then you'll get to the point, this is what I'm aiming for right now. I'm aiming to get such control over my own feelings that I can just feel the way I want to feel anytime I want to feel that way, without needing anything out here to make me feel that way. That's my goal. My goal is to go, I'm going to choose to be happy right now. I'm going to choose to feel good. I don't care what anybody else in the room is doing or online is doing. I'm going to choose to feel grateful. I'm going to choose to feel really glad that I'm here with you. See, that's the highest level of consciousness. The highest level of feeling is when you can make yourself feel the way you want to feel regardless of what's going on out there. The lowest level of consciousness is the way that I'm feeling is dependent on everything outside of myself going right. Like you said, you could have went, I was there to see the concert, there was a torrential rain, and so therefore I can decide the evening was ruined. Or I can go, I really had a good time, I enjoyed being there, and there was a torrential rain. See the difference? But we are wired to always tell ourselves that if the thing were different, we'd be happy. Then the Course is trying to get us to see that you could be happy, and you want to get out of conflict. He says the way you get out of conflict is by recognizing there's no possible alternative to God's plan that's going to save you or make you happy. So in other words, no plan other than the plan I'm giving you right now is ultimately going to work, because your Creator's plan is the only plan that you can be absolutely certain of its outcome. A plan that's coming from love is going to always lead to love. A plan that's coming from peace is going to always create peace. A plan that's coming from joy is going to create joy. A plan that's coming from your sense of abundance is going to create abundance. He's saying it right here. God's plan is the only one that's certain in its outcome. God's is the only plan that must succeed. So love is the only plan that must succeed. Forgiveness is the only plan that will succeed. Not attacking people, judging people, condemning people, trying to control people will not bring you anything but failure and despair, confusion, and misery, especially if you happen to meet people who are beginning to love themselves. Because people who are loving themselves are uncontrollable. You can't control a person that loves themselves. You can't control a person that knows the truth. Because anyone that loves themselves and anyone that knows the truth know that they have a divine right to be free and to choose whatever they do themselves. And not because somebody else is trying to make them do it. So you're going to have to find somebody that can be manipulated by guilt in order to get your game across. Because anybody that's got any sense not going to ask for your phone number. I don't care how your body looks. I know. Say, what? My body's been getting me everything I want. You mean? My bait has been like really working. Oh, you think I'm working out so much? So I want somebody to notice me. What you talking about? I want you to go, hey, you so damn fine, boy. That's right. Don't pay no attention to my mind. Look at my legs. You know? Can I get an amen?
Amen.
Yes. Can I go further? No, I'm working out the book, so you know that's where to look. I'm working out the book, so you know that's where to look. Look in the book. You got the book, so you got the same thing I'm saying to you. Another Course tip. A good teacher is a good motivator. You can't change anyone, but what you can do is motivate the person to change themselves.
Yes.
That's what you do. You don't try to change anybody. You just try to motivate them to want to do it on their own.
Yes.
So it's not saying the people you're around couldn't change in a way that you appreciate. You just have to ask yourself, are you a good motivator? Thank you, brother. Are you a good motivator? I love that. Because to be a motivator, to change someone, you don't need to remember but two things. You have to believe in the ideas that you are sharing with that person, and you have to believe in that person. So you might believe what you talk about, but you don't believe that that person can receive it or be it. Like, nah, my dad ain't never gonna change. I'm gonna tell him what he should do and try to show him a little bit of love, but that joker not gonna change. Right? I'm giving ideas, but I don't believe in the people I'm giving the idea to. I'm trying to say something loving to you, and I don't believe you loving, and I don't even believe you deserve my love. But somehow or another, you're supposed to really be motivated by what I'm saying. Yeah, you are being motivated to leave. So I have to remember that as a teacher when I'm up here, as a demonstrator, right? I have to believe in the Course in Miracles, and I have to believe in you that's receiving it. And then maybe if I do it the way I like to do it, then you may be motivated to go, well, I think I'll check this out a little bit more. I think I might start trying to do the workbook now. But I can't make anything about my happiness dependent on you doing what I'm saying. Why is it I can't make anything about my happiness doing what you're saying? Because at that point, what I just gave you is no longer a gift. Now I've imprisoned you. Because now I'm demanding that you follow my instructions, whether you want to or not, and when I decide you should. It's like giving somebody a wedding present, and they wake up the next morning, and you're down in the kitchen to see if they're going to use the coffee maker. Right? So you imprison them with your gift. Now they got to use it the way you want them to use it when you want them to use it or you get upset. Well, then the Course says that wasn't a gift, that was imprisonment. So if I really give something to you, then I let go of all my concern about whether or not you all use it. I can't leave this class today and worry all the rest of the day whether or not you're going to do what I share. And you have to have that same attitude toward the people in your life when you share from your heart. You got to be ready for them to react any way they want to, which might not be the way you want them to. Because sometimes you think just by you saying something loving that they just automatically should respond with love back because that's your intention. No, if it's really a gift that I just gave you, then no matter how you react, I'm okay with it because it was a gift. It wasn't me trying to imprison you with what I gave you. Okay, let's go on. I wish I could take a picture of y'all sometime so you can see how you look when I be talking. I really do. Some have what the hell looks, and some are enthusiastic, and some just don't know where they're at. Well, I want to know where I'm at, you know. But that's the way, that's how you know you're the one that's giving yourself the experience that you're having. Because somebody else could be having the exact same experience that you're having, and everybody's having different reactions, which should let you know everybody's responding to their interpretation of what they're listening to. Every one of you all are responding to your interpretation of what I'm saying, and then your behavior reflects the different interpretations that you have. So the Course is trying to teach you to get to the point that when you are upset and miserable, you will say to yourself, I must be giving myself an interpretation that's not true. Because if I was giving myself an interpretation of the situation that was true, that was coming from God, I wouldn't be upset. If my interpretation is correct, I'm not upset. If my interpretation is correct, I'm not upset. If your interpretation is correct, you're not upset. If you're upset, your interpretation is incorrect. If you're upset, your interpretation is incorrect. So wherever you're upset with right now, you're the one that's wrong in your perception of it. I know that didn't feel good. That's okay. You can take it. You can take it. I got faith in y'all. I got faith in you, and I got faith in the ideas and the Course. I like it when it kind of gets me. I like it. I like it when I sound like I'm on the toilet. You know what I'm saying? So it's like. So. All right. So let us practice recognizing this with certainty. What is it that we need to recognize with certainty? That only your Creator's plan will work. Let us rejoice that there is an answer to what seems to be a conflict with no resolution. Why the book is saying, y'all should be happy that you just finally got the answer to you really having happiness for the first time. You should be rejoicing that you got the answer to what seems to be a conflict that you haven't been able to come up with an answer. All things are possible to God. All things are possible to God. All things are possible for God, to your higher power. To your higher power, all things are possible to your Creator. All things, no exception. You're not so special that the situation you're upset about is unsolvable. You just aren't that special that you could have a situation that the infinite intelligence of the entire universe could not solve. You just ain't that special.
Thank you.
So stop acting like you're dealing with a situation that you just can't get out of just because you're still trying to handle it by yourself.
Amen.
That's what your problem is. Your butt's still refusing to get another way to look at it. Still trying to work your plan. Still trying to figure out, how can I get that person or this situation to be different? I know what we're all doing even if you don't tell me. That's what I love about this. The Course says there are no private thoughts. That the once you really realize the truth, you know what everybody's thinking.
Yeah.
You know what everybody's thinking.
There are no private.
There are no private thoughts. You miserable, I know you're not taking responsibility. I know you're not. That's not you. That thought isn't private. So, oh man, that's why I always do the 15-minute discussion, the question period, because I know sometimes when you hear this kind of stuff, it'll bring up different issues that you should get some clarity on. And I guarantee you, you can ask me a question that I can't answer from a Course in Miracles perspective. I can say that with total confidence. You are not going to come up with a question that I can't answer from a Course in Miracles perspective. I don't care what it is. But because, the Course says, but because you're not ready to be happy yet, you won't hear the answer. Because you're not ready to be happy yet, you're going to go unconscious. Because you're not ready to get rid of that problem yet, because it's serving some purpose and you're getting some kind of payoff, then you're not going to want to hear the answer. You're going to go unconscious and go to sleep and not pay attention when you still want to keep the crap going that you're going through right now. You're going to not remember a doggone thing I say as long as you haven't suffered enough. If you haven't suffered enough, you have no interest in the way out. And you're innocent, and you're innocent, and you're loved, and you're cared for, even if you choose not to accept your healing today. Okay? If you're not ready to be happy today, and you want to keep the same old plan going again, the Course says, you know what, I still love you so much, I still will take care of you, I still will provide for you. That's okay, because there's a limit to suffering. There's a limit to suffering. That's why it's easier to teach miserable people. It is. It's a lot easier to teach miserable people, because miserable people want to get out the misery that they're in. When you're sort of miserable, but sort of happy, but sort of miserable, but sort of happy, it's not a job that you jump up and down in the morning to go to, but it's also not a job, that's the worst job. Then you're the slowest changer on the spiritual path. People who are sort of unhappy don't pay attention because they're not miserable enough to do anything about it yet. God, that's deep. So you guess what? You are still loved regardless of how long you want to take. I believe in you. I believe in you. I believe there's a part of you that does really want to do things that work, that really want to finally have love and have joy. I believe in that part of you. And I'm selfish in doing it because I honestly see you as aspects of myself that's pretending that you don't know the truth. And then we're all trying to remember it together. So there's a big old scam going on. And that scam is that you are separate from me and I'm separate from you, and we're not one and we're not the same. That's the scam. So I got to remember, I'm only talking to myself, and I'm completely giving this only to myself because you are myself. So anything I give to you is what I'm giving to myself, And if you want to know what your relationship with God is really like, it's just like your relationship to the people around you. So the way you look at the people around you that you're in relationship with is exactly the relationship you have with God. If I think that I can't trust you in my relationship with you, I don't believe I can trust God. Whatever attitude you got toward any people, that's actually the attitude you really have toward the Creator, as opposed to saying, I have nothing but love for God. I really feel connected to God. I really feel one with God. But you're a whole nother deal. I'm going to call the police on you tomorrow. Well, the truth is, that's my real relationship with God. It's a relationship with God that I'm full of distrust. So how can I tell when I'm changing my mind about my relationship with God? Then I will be changing my mind about you. And I'll be seeing you as something that's good, something that deserves to be happy, somebody that I'm not going to attack, someone that I want to join with in a peaceful, joyful way, because that's my relationship with God. So again, people don't have private thoughts. Just watch them and you will know everything you need to know about what they are. Woo! Woo! That's why I said listen to these classes 3 or 4 times. I know when you walk out, it's easy to forget 90% of what you just heard. Because, that's because it's already said that's going to happen. So how do you get past that? He says, well, what you got to do is you got to repeat it over and over and over and over and over and over again, because the reason why you feel and think the way you do right now is because it was repeated over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. And I didn't grow up in the house where, even though I felt like my mom loved me at some level, I didn't grow up in the house where I was being told, you're perfect and you're loving and you're lovable and you're just so wonderful and you're the best thing that ever lived every day. I wasn't hearing that all the time when I was growing up, and was there anybody in here that did? Now you understand why your relationships have gone the way they have. Because we haven't accepted as true yet that we really are the innocent children of an infinite Creator that only deserves love, because that's not what I heard. That's not how I was programmed. So if somebody does come to me being that way, what is it I'm going to do? I'm going to be suspicious of them. I'm going to believe they must be lying to me because they're telling me that I'm valuable and I don't think I am. So who am I going to be attracted to? I'm going to be attracted to the person that judges, criticizes me, and condemns me, because that's what I think I deserve, because I never learned to love myself all the way down to my core, because I was told that I was valuable. So people go, well, how do I get out of that, Earl? You need to make sure you are proactive in learning and remembering this for yourself, and making sure that you form intimate relationships with people who remind you of your value. And stop hanging out with those people that never tell you you're beautiful. I appreciate you. You're valuable to me. You're important to me. I think you're wonderful in my life. Stop hanging out with those people unless you want to look at it as an opportunity. They are also an opportunity. Every last one of those jokers are another opportunity for you to remember the truth for yourself, which is your happiness doesn't have anything to do with what they're doing.
That's right. Amen. I keep moving.
So if you got a bunch of people around you and you feel like all you do is get upset with them for one thing or another, you go, that's an opportunity. It's another opportunity to see if I can practice remembering the truth that I deserve to be loved. The closer you get to waking up to who you really are, the harder it will be for you to deal with minor intrusions of discomfort. The more you wake up, you don't get more patient with the craziness, you get more impatient with the craziness. You don't get more patient with suffering. You can't suffer as good as you used to. And you're going to be able to hang in situations, in circumstances that make you miserable as good as you used to, because you're waking up spiritually. And since you're waking up spiritually, you know you deserve joy. I'm going to stop here before I get sued for course abuse. But I love this stuff. I would much rather hear what I just heard from the Course in Miracles all day than to listen to 90% of what regular ego minds talk about, which is just something else to be afraid of, something else to watch out for, something else that could go wrong, some catastrophe you got to look out about, where this person isn't doing what I want them to do, whatever. You know what I'm saying? You're going to get to the point that you only want to hear loving thoughts. And you're going to call everything else a call for love. So you can use the thing that's upsetting you to attract love to you. So I'm either loving you or I'm calling for your love. You're either loving me or your anger, your guilt, your upset, whatever it is you're feeling with me that makes you feel separate from me, that's your call for love. That's your call for help. That's your call for God. So every time you get mad, something good will come to you, because the universe is now interpreting your upset as a request for help, a request for love. But you have to start calling it that yourself. And all day long, people are giving us an opportunity to say that, whether we believe it or not, because readiness is not mastery. It's just you going in the direction of it. And sometimes you're going to pull it off, and guess what? Sometimes you won't. And you innocent. I believe in you.
We believe in you.
I believe in you.
We believe in you.
And I believe in the ideas I'm sharing with you. That's why I can have that much fire 45 years later. I'm not so stupid I'd be studying something for 45 years that didn't work. Give me a little credit. Okay? If I thought nothing about this that worked, nobody would be doing something for 40 years that wasn't working for them some kind of way. And so Spirit always tells me to remember, Earl, first and foremost, everything you're saying is for you. First and foremost, the Course in Miracles is for you, that I want you to apply this to you. Everybody's got their own path. Everybody's got their own way. So you, doggone it, better listen back to this class and do what you heard today, because that was your Holy Spirit talking to you directly. And anybody that's listening or anybody that came, they were sent because for some reason they needed to hear the same thing too, no matter what they do with it. So I'm so glad that you have given me another chance to ask for the love and to give the love I really want. Because that's the only way I'm going to have it. So when somebody receives your love, give it to them. Don't hold back. Do all your choosing, deciding, discerning, discriminating before you make your decision. And then when you make your decision, what do? You abandon yourself into it. You're standing on the diving board. Should I jump? Should I not jump? And then you come to your decision to jump, and you jump. That's 100% commitment. That's what you got to do. You got to be 100% committed to you treating you right. And all the people who will help you treat you right will start showing up on their own. So I'm going to give you an opportunity to share if you like. I appreciate it, especially as a full-time teacher of the course. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. You're a blessing in my life. You're innocent whether you do or not. So don't get me wrong. I love you either way it goes. Those of you online that want to make a financial expression of appreciation, I surely appreciate it. You can do it at my website, www.earlpurdy.com, P-U-R-D-Y. You can do it over Venmo, Cash App, PayPal, Zelle, or Square. My email address is all you need. It's earlpurdy@earlpurdy.com. earlpurdy@earlpurdy.com. I'm available for clarity sessions. I'm available for one-on-one sessions. I'm available for one-on-one coaching sessions. If you're just getting into the course and you already got that vibe that it's your path and you would really like to save some time, get in touch with me, have at least one coaching session with me. I feel totally comfortable and confident telling you that if you're sincere about the course, I can definitely give you some tips that'll make your journey through it a lot more satisfying and a lot easier, because I've seen what new students do to themselves without realizing it. So I'm here to be truly helpful. I'm also available for astrological and numerological sessions. That's another way Spirit communicates to us, is through the blueprint of the intentions that we had when we came and incarnated into this world, and that's what the astrological, numerological charts, as I do them, tell you. What is your easiest way to do your purpose? Tell me a person that's struggling, and I'll show you a person that doesn't know why they're here. They don't know what the intentions that they had before they came into this world. But once a person realizes that, everything changes for the better. You're struggling because that's the universe's way of not letting you succeed at seeking what you want where it's not. So it's a blessing when you are miserable, because you're closer to the time you're ready to really listen to another way of looking at your situation. So be happy for people who are unhappy, because you know they're a step closer to doing something different that will bring them happiness. And the same is true for you and me. So some of y'all know y'all right on the verge of something. Really good, right? So go to my website. You can self-book an appointment with me right online. All my classes on YouTube and on Facebook. So you can go to YouTube and watch literally hundreds of classes that I have, and on other things that I've taught, as well as the Course in Miracles. There's some other stuff on there. My inner guidance is telling me more and more and fast, hey, it's showtime. We need to be taking hints. Whether it was the assassination attempt on Donald Trump to the total infrastructure crash that we had over the weekend and everything went out. We need to pay attention to the ridiculous weather that's going on that's different from anything. I don't know what it takes to get us to wake up. It's kind of like, it's really kind of ridiculous. It's like, and so you still think the most important thing is that eggs went up 20 cents a carton. I'm telling you, there's deeper stuff that's going on right now. And what that means is the call for love is greater than it's ever been. The call for light and those who want to be the means for light and truth, that call is greater than it's ever been. You need to choose what side you're going to be on. Whether you're going to be on the side of the past and fear, or whether you're going to be on the side of love and unity. In every class now, I put out a call for those people who want to join in love and unity to create the new world that we need to be in, that we feel safe in. And that ain't going to happen unless we join together for that purpose. And that's why I'm doing this, is to be a vehicle for love and truth to come to, with people who want it, with people who see it as valuable. So I thank you, because you didn't have to get up today, and you didn't have to come here, and you didn't have to spend that gas. I appreciate that. I don't take it lightly. And those thousands of you that are watching online, thank you from the bottom of my heart. There's nothing on earth that gives me more joy than when I'm being used for something that's good and loving and peaceful. Especially joining with other people who want to do that. So gratitude. He says the one superpower is gratitude. There's nothing more powerful to bringing your good to you than gratitude. Gratitude. And nothing real is something you got to wait to have. Anything that's real, you can have it now. Anything that's real, you don't have to wait for the future. You only have to wait for it in the future if it's ultimately not real. But anything that would really bring joy to you, don't you think for 1 second that you couldn't have it right now if you wanted to? Wow. So I need people to remind me of that, because everything I know in my own pattern is to keep coming up with stuff that I think is going to make me happy when I can manipulate it and make it happen sometime in the future. I'm through with that. I'm through. And now I know that's a lie, that every time I tell myself I can't be happy until sometime in the future, that's just me sentencing myself to unhappiness for a few more months. because I said in 6 months I can have it. But what am I going to go through until that 6 months pass? When I'm not having what I want, I'm not happy. So every time you project your happiness into something that you can only have in the future, don't you see you creating this big space where you don't have it? And then you wonder why your good always looks like it's around the next corner. But the world doesn't tell me that. The newspapers don't tell me that. So I need to be in a place where I'm joining with other people who want to remember the truth together. And you don't have to worry about who's going to stick around, because whoever is actually just shucking and jiving or not ready to stop suffering yet, they're not going to stick around. But what you're going to end up with is the people that are all sharing the same purpose at the same time to be happy. And then all of you all will achieve it faster than you could ever imagine. So I love weeding people out and weeding myself out by being as authentic as I possibly can, by saying this the best I can, because who's not ready for it through me, they're not going to stick around anyway. I've done this 40 years, I know. But I also know those that's as long as they needed to be here. They're just totally perfect. Wow. Suppose you could take that attitude about your relationships, or the things that come and go in your life, and you could look at all your relationships and go, guess what? Me and that person learned as much as we could from each other this time, and we appear to separate, and we are both blessed, and we are both innocent, and now we're having some new experience that we need to have right now, and we need to bless each other. How long would you be in the bedroom crying then? Whew. So I want people in my life that's going to remind me of this and want to learn it with me together. But the Course says, and the truth says, you have to ask. And that's when you receive. But you got to ask. Not assume, ask. I'm asking. And it's my honor to be a solution. So you mighty companions, and also those who in Denver who want to come and check it out in person, you're totally welcome at 1555 Race Street. 1555 Race Street. I believe in you, and I believe in the ideas that I'm sharing with you. I love you.